Ladies, do you know what it means when a man looks at you? Like he holds your gaze, he establishes eye contact during intimacy when he's making love to you. You see, not every man can do it. Not every man is willing to do it because it puts him in that state of vulnerability. That's him opening up to you too much than he would ever want to. So if a man actually takes his time to hold gaze with you while he is thrusting, while he is making love to you, know that that man wants you to see him. Know that that man has reached a point where he isn't going back with you. All right. Now, it can be dicey because there are some men who can just use it as a way to manipulate you, a way to control you. Because remember, eyes are the windows to the soul. So if he starts to establish that eye contact with you while he's making love to you, trust me, he is snatching your soul right there. He is snatching your soul right there. And so if you don't feel a thing for this guy, try not to hold his gaze while he's making love to you because darling, that's not something to be toyed with, right? It's not something you give to someone like that. I know that sex is another gateway to a man or a woman's soul, most especially women, because we're very emotional, right? A man can sleep with any woman and he doesn't just feel a thing, it's just sex. But for some women, especially women who are not broken, because there's some women who are broken and sex to them is just sex. All right? Gratification is just sexual gratification. But I'm talking about women who are soulful, women who consider sex as very important, very integral to their well being and to their soul. And so they do not just accommodate any Tom, Dick, and Harry. This is a different ballgame for them if they hold contact with a man during sex. You guys are communicating way beyond sex. All right? You guys are communicating. You're opening your soul to this man. So that's why you only gaze, you only hold eye contact with a man that you know is on the same wavelength with you emotionally. His intents for you are pure. His intentions for you are pure. His motives for you are genuine. Because if he is there to play and manipulate you, he's going to hold you hook, line, and sinker with his gaze. That's either total surrender or total control to hold your soul down so that you feel, because some people can use it to manipulate you, to hold you digmatized. Yes, so yes, some men are that evil. They know how that can anchor your soul to them. They will hold you down and digmatize you with that. So much so that after that incident, you start thinking to yourself, why did he hold that contact with me? Why did he look into my eyes while he was thrusting? Darling, you better be careful. So read the room, read his intentions, be outside of the bedroom first. How does he treat you outside of the bedroom? Are his actions pure? Are they genuine? Before you start holding contact with a narcissist or you start holding contact with a manipulator, just so that he can get you to call you every now and then when he feels horny. Because this is not only a psychological exchange, it's an ancient human wiring. Across traditions, when eyes meet deeply, it's treated like an encounter between spirits. Some people call it soul recognition. What pattern does he bring? Does he disappear? Does he ghost you afterwards? Then you know that his gaze is just a manipulation. And then one more thing, never ever forget your sovereignty. See, because a powerful gaze can feel like a claim. It can feel like ownership. So you must keep your boundaries of, I belong to myself in that moment if you do not trust him. Let it remind you of the ancient truth that our eyes have always been translators of the soul. And so you're capable in that moment to detect what his soul is transmitting to you, because whether you like it or not, energies are being transmitted. You know, there is something that happens when two people are that close and they stop hiding behind words. See, when a man really looks at you, not a passing glance while he's having sex with you, not just a quick look of attraction, but a held gaze that doesn't let go, it does something to both of you. It's like him saying, I am not just here for the moment. I'm not just here for sex. I am here with you. I want to establish something with you. See, that kind of eye contact isn't casual. It is a language all on its own. It's the point where you stop performing and you start being seen. See, most men avoid it during intercourse because it's too honest. It's like them revealing themselves, their true intention. It just gives away more than they want to show. But when a man stays there, he's making love to you. He's holding you tight, maybe in a missionary position. He stays there. When he holds your eyes and lets that silence stretch, it means that he's willing to let you see what's underneath the surface, his intentions, his motive, the emotion, the sincerity, maybe even the fear that he hides from every other person, but he's willing to show you. So for him, it is a moment of surrender as much as it is a moment of strength. It is him saying, I trust you with my truth right now. I trust you with my vulnerability right now. And that's rare. It's not just chemistry. It is presence. It is acceptance. It is him fully there with you, not just distracted, not just carried away. He's not pretending. That gaze becomes a bridge between both of you. All right? It establishes something deep and intimate. And for you as a woman, this can be very disarming. Because when you feel seen like that, it's not just about what he's doing to you. It's not just about the sex. It's about what it awakens in you in that moment. You start to feel a reflection of yourself through his eyes. You see how he sees you, beautiful, real, alive, human. He's not just making love to a sex object. He's making love to a human. That's what makes that sex extraordinary. That's what elevates an ordinary sex to a sex that makes the moment feel sacred. It's not about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about full vulnerability. And let me tell you something for a fact. That kind of connection usually asks for courage. It takes courage for you to look at someone eyeballs to eyeballs. You're having intimacy, deep. To you, sex alone is already deep. Then come and add eye contact. That's mad now. That's you catapulting to, like, that's two souls intertwining. That's deep. That's him trying to anchor himself in your soul. That's too much closeness. Because holding someone's gaze in that kind of moment, in that kind of closeness, means you're letting yourself to be known. Two, it is not just him letting himself to be known to you. You both are letting yourselves to be known, vulnerable. It's a mutual surrender. It's a quiet agreement that says we're both here unguarded, seen, nothing to hide. Just like how we came into this world, naked. That's how I am. I am not hiding anything from you. So tell me, how can you be establishing that sort of connection with any Tom, Dick, and Harry? Before you allow a man look at you, give you that kind of eye contact while he's inside of you, make sure that you're on the same wavelength, on the same platform emotionally with him. It takes a man who has fallen deeply in love with you to do that. And it also takes a man who wants to manipulate you and get you hooked to do that. So you have to be very sensitive. That's why it can feel so powerful and so unsettling at the same time. Because you can feel the truth in your chest at that moment. You can't hide, and neither can he. It's where love, trust, and even fear meet in the same breath. And when it's genuine, when it's real, when it comes from a place of care and respect, that gaze just lingers in your mind long after the moment ends. You can never get it out because it wasn't just about passion, it was about being recognized, it was about being seen, it was about two souls merging as one. You know, they say that the eyes are the window to the soul. I've said that before, and that line gets tossed around like it's just a sweet proverb. It's not. It has teeth. Cicero said it plainly. The face is the picture of the mind, and the eyes are the interpreter. And Matthew puts it in another way in the Bible. The eye is the lamp of the body. Even Shakespeare, whether he said it in those exact words or not, he captured the truth that when we look, more is being revealed than we can name. So when a man locks his eyes on you during intimacy, during the intimate moments, during while having sex with you, you're not just receiving a look, darling. You're receiving a translation of what's inside of him. You would see the motive. Now think about it for a second. The eyes. The eyes aren't just there for decoration. They're not the headlines either, but they are the undercurrent. They are the part that can help but betray the heart when the mouth is doing its careful work. If the mouth is lying, you will see it in the eyes. So in intimacy, when words are thin or pointless, the gaze speaks. The eyes speak. It reports on presence. It reports on courage. It reports on vulnerability. It reports on whether the person in front of you is willing to be vulnerable, to be honest, to be fully present. And presence, my love, is the rarest gift anyone will offer you in times of intimacy, in times of sex, in a bedroom. If the man is not present, if the woman is not present while you're having a good time, especially for people who call themselves lovers, then something is missing. You can't be making love to a man and he's not present with you. So when a man holds that gaze, several things are happening at the same time. One, he's anchoring himself in the present with you. He's choosing not to wander in his head, not to distract himself, not to hide. That choice alone is huge. To remain in the moment with another human being that matters to him when everything in you could pull away. That takes a kind of internal steadiness. Two, he is showing willingness to be witnessed. Because being witnessed is terrifying and holy. It means someone will see your edges. Someone will see the true essence of yours. Someone will see your soft places. Someone will see the parts you polish for the world to see and the parts that you try to tuck away. So when a man stays in that look for too long, in that moment of intimacy, he's saying without words, I will take what I see. I will hold it, not judge it. He's invariably telling you that I will not run away. I see you deeply and I need you to see me as well. That is an offering. That is an opening. Not every man will give that to any kind of woman. But the eyes do more than reveal. They mirror. When he looks at you, you suddenly get to see yourself through another lens. The way he sees your face. The way he sees your fears, the way he sees your delight, the way he sees your tenderness. Now, this reflection can be healing. It can confirm to you where his heart really is in a moment with you, where he places you on a scale and on a scale of preference. It can make you feel known in a way that words fail to do. Like you can't misplace where he places you. Now someone will tell you, "Oh, Jane, you're exaggerated, blah 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 blah." No, let me tell you let me give you an instance, right? I went to a restaurant and I was eating, and this family of five, they came into the restaurant, and you know how you look at you look into space and you just zone out. Unfortunately, I was looking at this woman and I zoned out. And so while she was sharing grilled fish for her family, she raised up her head trying to eat, and she held gaze with me. Her gaze was on me. as well. She saw me looking at her. But in my mind, I was zoned out and I couldn't even leave that space. You know how you zone into a space and you just don't want to leave because there's this feeling of tranquility that it comes with. And she held that gaze with me. And the stubborn me wanted to hold on. The stubborn me wanted to hold that gaze. But guess what? I couldn't hold it because that's holding contact with a stranger is, it takes a level of confidence, it takes a level of, it takes a level of rudeness to do that, much less when you're with a man in bed and he's holding that eye contact with you, he's trying to form an eye, he's establishing eye contact with you. In not everybody can hold it. All right. Even I myself, I cannot. As strong as I think I am, I will take my face. I would throw my eyes away. It's deep, darling. So once a man is beginning to establish that sort of contact with you, that's either total surrender or total control to hold your soul down so that you feel, because some people can use it to manipulate you, to hold you digmatized. Yes, so yes, some men are that evil. They know how that can anchor your soul to them. They will hold you down and digmatize you with that. So much so that after that incident, you start thinking to yourself, why did he hold that contact with me? Why did he look into my eyes while he was thrusting? Darling, you better be careful. So read the room, read his intentions, be outside of the bedroom first. How does he treat you outside of the bedroom? Are his actions pure? Are they genuine? Before you start holding contact with a narcissist, or you start holding contact with a manipulator, just so that he can get you to call you every now and then when he feels horny. Darling, you don't want to fall into the hands of some evil guys. So imagine the simplest form of love, which is someone seeing you and he doesn't flinch. And you know what? The gaze is a vehicle for that thing. It is a handshake between two interior lives, two souls. And yes, it's so sensual. Not because it's sexual in action, but because it is intimate in content. You know, there is a texture to that experience, the quiet, the breath, the small movements that are suddenly meaningful. I mean, it arrests the ordinary and makes you aware of yourself as a human being in relations to another. It makes you realize that you're not just used, you're being needed. You're not just wanted, you're being needed. That sensory stillness feels like worship sometimes, a reverence for what is human and fragile and true. That's the sensuality you want. Deep, soulful, tethered to feeling rather than, performance or performing. But then again, I need to ram it into your head that not all sustained eye contact during sex is created equal. You can read that look in different registers. All right? It can be tender and gentle. It can be searching and hungry. It can be steady and protective. It can be intense and claiming, right? Sometimes it is a soulful surrender. It is like him giving you his truth. Sometimes it's a test. It's like him looking to see what you will do with his vulnerability. And sadly, sometimes it's a manipulation. The look that tries to hold you captive, to keep you locked, to convince you of something that isn't true. That's why being able to read the difference is everything as a woman. You need to be intuitive, and your soul will tell you which is real and which is fake. And how do you tell? You can go with the old tools: tone, consistency, context. See, a genuine look will settle into you in the way warm water settles into a pool. slow, calming, steady. You observe that in that moment, your breath will ease out, your shoulders will drop, your chest will feel soft because there is a permission inside it. See, a manipulative look will make you feel constricted without explanation. Your skin will prick, your jaw will tighten, your body will, like, you will feel something is wrong. You will feel like you need to explain or you need to perform to match it. See, that split second body language, that feedback is your compass. So you need to trust it. You don't need proof beyond that. Your body always knows before your brain does. I don't know how God did it, but He gave us a compass. That's why you would always know when something is about to go wrong. He will give you a feeling that never settles. Your peace will be rattled. If it happens, it's because you were not in tune with how you felt, or you brushed it out. You brushed it away because of how you felt. Remember that feeling is fleeting. Or sometimes most times you shouldn't follow your feelings because your feelings can get you to the wrong direction. Follow your intuition. Is it settling? Even in the midst of how you feel for this person, do you have peace? If you don't have peace, my darling, it is not right. Now, also bear in mind that there is also cultural and evolutionary wiring at play when there is eye contact, because direct eye contact in men historically signals dominance or intention, while in women, it is often coded as invitation or connection. And this is a generality, not a rule. So when a man holds eye contact intensely in sex, it can carry a weight of power. What matters is the moral tone behind that power. Is he using it to connect and equalize, or is he using it to assert and control? Now, the difference will show up in how he behaves after the moment, after sex. Does he check in? Does he follow through with kind action? Does he respect your boundaries outside of the moment of intimacy? Or does he just vanish into inconsistency, leaving that weight of movement on you alone? So you've got to follow the pattern, not the movement. Patterns oftentimes would reveal the truth. Now let's speak to you, my lovely sister out there. You know I've got your back. I need to speak to you on how you can meet his gaze so that the energy between you two is balanced and mutual. And this is essential because many women look away, not because you're disinterested, but because when a man looks that way, in that vulnerable state, it can feel like being exposed. And you might notice a rush of, vulnerability, a sudden habit of shrinking. And that pattern is so common because women are socialized to be careful with receiving, to avoid taking up space, to hide from being fully seen, to be reserved. But there is a different way to move through it. It's not about staring into a man's soul like a contest. It's about allowing yourself to stay soft, to breathe, and to meet him in the middle. And you do it by noticing your breath first. Slow the exhale. Let the shoulders just lower. Keep your face open rather than being guarded. All right? Because a softening gaze is not weakness. It is invitation and strength all at once. All you just need to do is you steadying your eyes, not by forcing them, but by aligning them to your heart. How do you feel at that moment? Let it speak in your eyes. Let your eyes be generous and curious and present in the moment. When you do that, you're saying with calm authority that I can be seen, I can be welcoming, I can be receiving, I can be known. I am not here to also perform for you. I am here to share this space and this vulnerability with you. That kind of response will shift the dynamics from possession to partnership. Okay, now another practical nuance is this. You can mirror the steadiness. If he's holding a calm, steady gaze, all you just need to do is return it with the same kind of calmness. If it is intense and sharp, soften and move into compassionate curiosity. All right? You don't have to match aggression with aggression. Let him see your feminine energy, and then it can soften his aggression. I wonder why he would be looking at you with aggression. See, often I think that the most powerful way to neutralize an overbearing intensity is to anchor yourself in quiet steadiness because it shows emotional regulation and your inner strength. All right? And remember that presence meets presence. Your steadiness just invites him to be steadier. That's what it does. And then again, I also want to talk about the aftermath, what that gaze leaves behind. See, when two people really meet like that, something echoes. It's like striking a bell. That sound lingers. That echo can teach you about your capacity to be vulnerable, and it can recalibrate what you expect from intimacy. So if the glimpse of embodied presence felt nourishing and respectful, you will start to look for more of that. You will begin to value being seen over being impressed. You will begin to prefer, presence over presentation. And that's growth. All right. And then you'll start to upgrade, not because you're demanding perfection, but because your soul now remembers what it feels like to be truly witnessed, and it will refuse to settle for anything less. So if you've been with a man who looks at you, really looks at you with great care and respect, you will not be with a man who does not take his time to acknowledge you in bed. And acknowledging you in bed doesn't mean him thrusting you. It is him looking deeply beyond what you guys are physically doing. It's him trying to reach down into your soul with so much care and compassion. So if that moment felt manipulative, or if that moment left you feeling small, the echo inside of you will teach you something else for you to be cautious. And that's not failure, it is a lesson. It clarifies what safety feels like for you. So use that knowledge. Don't disregard it. No, always notice the language that he speaks with his life, not just with his eyes. Is his life honest? Does his action align with what his gaze said in that moment? You need to trust continuity test. People who mean it will show up for you in the small, unglamorous ways as much as in the charged ones, as much as in the sex or intimate moment. There is also spiritual element here, all right? Because this is not only a psychological exchange, it's an ancient human wiring. Across traditions, when eyes meet deeply, it's treated like an encounter between spirits. Some people call it soul recognition. Now, I will not make it mystical for you if you don't want that, right? But I would say this plainly. If you ever feel like two interior lives recognize one another through a look, you need to honor it, sit with it, consider what it asks of you. Do you want to allow more visibility in your life? Do you want to offer that kind of visibility to someone else? These questions are the real returns of those moments. Now, let me be absolutely practical. See, when you find yourself in that intimate gaze, I need you to breathe. Notice the physical sensation that he brings into the bed. If your body opens and relaxes, it will invite more presence. But if your body tightens, make sure that you name what you feel silently to yourself. Like, I am noticing tension. Because this keeps you rooted in your experience instead of you getting lost in interpretation. Next, you need to test the look with small, real questions outside of the moment. Does he call you later? Does he check on you? Does he care? Does he show care in ordinary life outside of the bedroom? Because the gaze is a signal. It signals consistency. Consistency is the language of truth. Balance the romance of the gaze with the literacy of pattern. What pattern does he bring? Does he disappear? Does he ghost you afterwards? Then you know that his gaze is just a manipulation. And then one more thing, never ever forget your sovereignty. See, because a powerful gaze can feel like a claim. It can feel like ownership. So you must keep your boundaries of, I belong to myself in that moment if you do not trust him. Because there is a difference between being chosen and being owned. So if you choose to receive love, you do not surrender your sense of self for someone else's intensity, right? So if a look ever reads like a cage disguised as devotion, you need to step back, baby. Because real love expands you. Real presence, frees you to be more of yourself and not less and not caged in. And finally, let me say this. Let me say something gentle because it seems as if I've been harsh. You have the right to be moved by a gaze and still be wise about it. Because feeling deeply is not stupidity. It's a sign of your capacity for intimacy. So pair your tenderness with attentiveness. Let your heart be brave and your mind be curious enough to discern what is ownership and what is freeing, what is liberating. So I would advise you in that moment, learn to hold your own eyes with as much kindness as you offer to that man who looks at you. So when a man locks eyes with you in those quiet, intimate moments, when he's thrusting you and he's just holding you down, pinning you down, I need you to receive it with grace and scrutiny. Let it teach you about presence. Let it show you how brave someone can be when they choose to be seen. Let it remind you of the ancient truth that our eyes have always been translators of the soul, and so you're capable in that moment to detect what his soul is transmitting to you, because whether you like it or not, energies are being transmitted. Shongbo. But don't forget the rest of the story, because eye speaks, but life shows whether the speech is honest. Watch the life, watch the patterns, and love yourself enough to choose the presence that honors you and discard the one that doesn't. Don't give room. Don't give a second chance to an emotion that doesn't honor you. And you will know when an emotion from a person honors you. And that, my love, is what it means when a man holds eye contact in intimacy, not merely desire, but an offered interiority. It can be sacred. It can be simple. It can be an invitation. And sometimes it can be a test. Your job is to receive it, to listen with your body, and to answer from your own grounded place. You see, not every man can hold eye contact during intimacy. And in fact, most men don't. Not because they are cold or detached, but because that level of connection requires a different kind of presence. It takes a man who is emotionally aware, who is not afraid to feel, who is not scared of vulnerability, to hold such level of eye contact during intimacy. Eye contact in that space isn't casual. All right? And a lot of men aren't ready to look into that mirror because it reflects not just desire, but emotion. It reflects sincerity and even fear. So when a man holds gaze in that moment, it usually means he's fully present. He's not lost in fantasy. He's not distracted. He's not elsewhere. He's with you completely, because at that point, his eyes become more than sight. They become a channel of communication. And for a man to get to that point, something has shifted inside of him. It's either he feels emotionally safe with you, or he's found something rare, a kind of comfort that he doesn't usually experience, because men are taught to guard their emotions, to perform, to dominate. But when he locks eyes with you while having sex with you, all that facade drops. That's not the moment of dominance right now. That's the moment of surrender. It is him saying, I trust you with my vulnerability. And would you be able to handle it? And sometimes it's not even a conscious act. It's instinctive. When a man genuinely feels emotionally connected, his body language changes. He moves slower. He stays closer. And his eyes just search yours, as if to confirm that you're right there with him too. That look becomes reassurance. It becomes affirmation. And it becomes an intimacy All of that rolled into one. So when a man holds your eyes, it says something powerful about his emotional depth. It shows that he's not running from the moment, he's leaning into it. He's not afraid to be seen. And he's not afraid to see you either, because that's another thing. Looking into someone's eyes in that moment isn't just about being observed, it's also about being witnessed. It's about saying, I want to remember you. I want to feel everything that exists between us right now. That's the kind of man who looks into your eyes because he wants the moment to mean something. He's not trying to impress, he's trying to communicate something wordless, something raw. That's the kind of eye contact that lingers long after, because it wasn't lost, it was recognition. In the end, it's not about how long he held your gaze, it's about how deeply you learned to meet it. Because a woman who can hold eye contact without losing herself has learned the balance between vulnerability and strength. And that kind of energy, no one forgets that. Okay? So this is where we wrap it all up until I come your way. When I do come your way, do know that I love you and God loves you best. Mwah!